What thing you did years ago that still makes you die inside? Thing singular? LOL. Let's start with Volume 1. First chapter. Public farts. This was a great response. Thank you. Vomiting in the Chinese restaurant. Warning: this is a bit disgusting. I have always had a phobia about vomit ever since I was 4. I was going to the bathroom with my mom and some employee lady who worked there was in the bathroom throwing up. She didn't make it to the bathroom on time and I accidentally stepped on her vomit while I was wearing my favorite shoes and I started crying. On the way back to the table I started gagging and crying some more. Then I let out a huge cough of chunky orange vomit infused with the shrimp I ate in the middle of the hallway of table sections because I was so disgusted by the lady's own vomit. An employee saw me and right away brought me a mini trash can and cleaning products so he could clean it up. The part that makes me die inside though is that I was vomiting while people were eating their meals and they saw me. Some looked away. Some gave me glares and I even saw the poor employee guy's face full of tiredness from dealing with a 4-year-old puking in the restaurant. I hate my 4-year-old self and I wish my brain could let that memory go. I worked at a restaurant. Kids puke. It sucks but it happens. At least you didn't have the mom who saw her son Luke on the table and floor in the middle of the dining room. Laugh heartily and say have fun cleaning that up before just leaving the restaurant. Yet, after I puked my parents left the restaurant pretty quickly with an embarrassed red face and left a bigger tip than usual. I am sorry that you had to pick up little kids' puke like mine. Working at restaurants sounds like hell. Dressed like a goth. And wore black nail polish. I'm a guy. Thank beep this was before cameras were in phones and everywhere. Roleplay in chats and using words like M-lady back in the early 00s before the concept of nice guys was around to show us all how cringy that is. To be fair to me though, the roleplay thing was pretty popular in chat rooms back then at that age. Especially role-playing as vampires or werewolves lol. I often wonder what some of the girls that I used to chat to back then think of me now that the M-lady thing is associated with fedora-wearing neckbeards these days. 2 girls were sitting next to each other. One asked the other for M&Ms. I then proceeded to say, "Since when do we share with people we do not like?" The girl with the M&Ms then gave the other M&Ms. Looked at me and said, "I actually quite like her." And laughed at me. So beeping cringe. Rejected the popular girl because I was too obsessed with this other pretty girl that clearly wasn't interested in me. Enlist in the military. Nothing. I'm really not wired that way. Sold multiple hundreds of BTC for maybe, I don't know, $80. Yup. You read that right. 80. Like enough to pay a bill. That was it. Smoking. Getting blackout drunk and shaking my booty to baby got back at this bourgeois wedding. Allow my mother to destroy my beautiful relationship. Pretty much everything that made me die inside at the time. Jankos. It's impossible to narrow it down the one thing. I was at a robotics competition back when I was still in high school between matches when I got hungry and figured I could grab something from a vending machine. So I tracked down a vending machine hoping to find a bag of chips or something equally healthy only to find it had some granola bars left. Fine, I thought. Still very hungry. And grabbed it. I ate it and moved on with my life and went back to my duties. Give it maybe 10 or so minutes and I was feeling very off. I excused myself and went to a different vending machine to grab a drink of whatever I could find. All that was left was a couple bottles of Gatorade, so I grabbed a blue bottle. The only flavor I can stand. I drink maybe half before I realize I'm about to puke. So I sprint to the nearest bathroom and find a queue forming in front of the stalls. I Being the good Canadian. Decide instead of cutting and shoving. To wait in line for my turn. I didn't have enough time. I ended up making a 180 and puking into the sink behind me with people watching me. If that wasn't bad enough, the blue Gatorade I had drank mixed with the yellow bile inside, and I ended up puking a bright green sludge. Like some leprechaun had a really bad drinking problem. Into the sink in front of shocked individuals. To make matters worse, my concoction of bile and shame couldn't flush down the sink. So in front of shocked bystanders, I just left it there. TLDR. I vomited a leprechaun's shame into a sink and left it there in front of shocked teenagers. I introduced my friend's mom to my mom as my mom. Okay, so I'm kindergarten. I had a top 10 anime betrayals moment. My friend ditched me to play Legos with his crush, and you wanna know what 5-year-old me decides to do? I start eating his Legos cause he didn't let me play with them. I think I don't just speak for myself but for a lot of people as well. Haircut/hairstyle. I look at pictures of myself from 2 to 3 years ago and die inside from all the cringe. What was I thinking?